going pretty good for you?
Well, except for the legs, everything's going all right.
That's nice down there.
One day at a time, sweet Jesus, hey, I'm still here, so hey, I'll take that.
If I could get rid of that.
Monday, come back Thursday. Sister-in-law called, air conditioning working.
How you doing, Tommy?
Good. How about you, Jim?
I'm good too.
Good. How's your wife?
She's getting better and better. Yeah, thanks for asking.
Turn on and off.
When my friend Jerry Carroll came to your office last week, did you get a chance to meet him?
What was he coming in?
He, to talk to you guys, he's got a development that wants to come
Yes,
here.
sir.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And you guys are going to represent him.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. Is
We
it,
are in the room right now.
where's
He's the guy that used to own Turfway Park,
Oh, really?
and he did all kinds of development
Gotcha.
in Florence
Oh, okay.
and various other places.
Yeah, I remember.
He's from originally.
Oh, really?
First one's
And he
just a platter.
Oh, wow.
Wouldn't that have been nice?
You must have.
We were drinking wines.
I bet you met with
Gotcha.
Bill and
Yeah,
Al Powers.
yeah.
I do. I have a ton of. Well, I did it.
Okay.
Development group out of Cincy, all up and down Ohio County
All right.
and Peoria.
I will forward this. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Bye. That was Eric.
Sitting here starting to panic.
That was Eric. He's close. He's John Johnson. Nice to meet you. I know we've spoken.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's start this Lawrenceburg Advisory Planning Commission meeting for June. Roll call, please.
Jim Crook,
Here.
Derry Hutcherson.
Here.
Dylan Little is absent. Owen Cross.
Here.
Brett Bondurant is absent. Lenny Fryman.
Here.
Tony Abbott.
Here.
Attorney Tom Londell. And myself.
Have we all had a chance to review the minutes? Do we have a motion and or a second to approve it?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion accepted. Do we have a staff report tonight?
Only thing I've got for you is I'll be presenting for the city on the first item.
Okay. Well, let's start our new business then, John.
Okay. So what this is off the rear of a High Street property, 0.005 acres on New Street being split off a city parcel to help square up the lot next door.
Any questions from the board?
This is in behind the building, right?
Yes.
John?
Yeah.
Next to the
It's a parking area
area?
off the rear of 70 East High.
I know we was talking about it in there. Could you
Yeah.
explain it a little bit more to everyone here about what the variance is,
Oh, no, this isn't the variance. This is just a lot split.
the lot request?
Yeah.
Are you going to move it, or you want to widen it, or?
We're splitting a lot that essentially encroached 5.59 feet into the neighbors, and we discovered it in an old survey. The new owner of 70 East High came in wanting to do a two-car garage in the rear, and this would enable her to do her two-car garage if the city chooses to sell to her. But what this is, all this is a lot split. This isn't a transfer.
It's a split.
It's a split at this time.
And this was something that's kind of old, it should have been done, or, I get what you're saying?
This is something that came up. It was found in probably a mortgage survey prior to the transfer.
Any other questions from the board or questions from the audience? Do we have a motion and or a second to approve or deny the plat?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
A
Opposed?
motion to approve?
Motion
Motion
approved.
to approve, yeah.
Okay, I just got off the phone with Eric Lang. He's on his way in. We do have the property owner here. If you'd like to come up and just describe what you want to do up there.
My name's Travis Huber with Adrenaline Motorsports Toys. Been running Adrenaline Motorsports since 2008 in Lawrenceburg. Currently located back behind Ivy Tech on Charles A. Lytle Drive. There was a fire that happened back there in February. I bought this property back in November with plans to expand. I've been growing and I just need a bigger area that I can call my own. I've been renting there, like I said, since 2008, so I was just looking for something a little more permanent. I've looked on 50, I looked everywhere around Dearborn County. Everybody wants an arm and a leg for something or $90,000 a year for rent. I don't have that kind of rent money. I'm just working on motorcycles. I buy and sell motorcycles, four-wheelers, dirt bikes. I service them. A lot more of what I do is on the buying and selling end. So say, for instance, you list something on Craigslist or Facebook and you want your motorcycle gone, but you don't feel like putting new tires on it, so it's not worth something full retail to somebody. So I'll buy it, do a little TLC to it. Sometimes it's just as simple as I have to pay off somebody's lien. A lot of customers aren't willing to pay off somebody else's lien buying at retail, so that's where I come in. But that's how I acquire a lot of my inventory. So there wouldn't be a lot of traffic that would be coming in and out of there. My walk-in customers, I usually know when they're coming, so it's 1 or 2 customers a day, if that, if they're dropping off service or picking up, or I have somebody dropping off something that I'm buying off of them. And then a lot of my sales, I take and actually sell them at auction. So as far as the units themselves, a lot of stuff I wholesale. So the retail customers wouldn't be coming in and out of there for all the auction units. Last year I sold 197 motorcycles. So all of those I wholesaled to bigger dealers around the area and all around the nation, really. A lot of them get shipped off to different areas from the auction. But biggest thing is I just need more space where I'm at now, and I want something to call my own. And I seen this piece of property come up, and I thought it was a great chance at an opportunity for me to expand on my business and grow a little more here in Lawrenceburg.
So Travis is proposing a 2,500 square foot building for the purpose of ATV motorcycle sales and service, correct?
Correct.
Currently zoned R1 residential. And that's why he's here asking for a variance, and he has gone ahead and had land consultants prepare a full site plan for him that will meet our spec if the variance is approved.
Any questions from the board?
Where exactly, it's on Bilby, oh, I'm sorry, go right ahead.
Is this the property on 210, Bel Air?
This is 210, yes.
Yes.
Bilby,
Yes,
I'm
on
sorry.
Building.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the 6 acres that goes back a gravel driveway and then opens up into the back. I didn't even know it was there until I seen the for sale sign on it. I'm like, wow.
This is a full site plan.
As you're going up the hill, it's on the left, isn't it?
No, you go up the hill, it's on the right.
It's on the right?
Yeah, yeah. So I actually butt up to Lawrenceburg property at the bottom, to the bottom of me. And then back where the building would sit, there's literally nothing around. You can't hear anything, you can't see anything back there. There was a house that was on that property. I've already removed the house. The house has been demoed. All the existing utilities are still there besides sewage. I'd have to run sewage to the street. That's the one utility I'd have to take care of.
Is that lane that, like in the end, like blacktop lane that goes up through there? Is that what you're talking about?
Correct. As soon as you get to the end, as soon as the turn lane, or the 2 lanes come into one,
Yeah.
it's right off there to the right. As soon as the speed limit turns to 35,
Yeah.
yeah.
You sell accessories too, or are you mostly a service?
Mainly just service. Yeah. Yeah, the biggest thing is just tire sales, that would be my accessories and parts. So yeah, you're not gonna have everybody stopping in, shopping like Walmart or anything.
Right.
Yeah, very, very few flow of traffic.
Any other questions from the board or the audience?
I just had one question.
If you don't mind approaching the podium for me, I'd like to get this on record.
Go to the podium and state your name.
Yeah, please. Sorry.
I'm sorry. sorry.
right there.
Right in front of me.
Yeah.
I am Allison Wurzelbacher. We live at 198 Bilby, and we also have 198 and a half, so we have 2 lots just right next to him, and ours runs back behind him. I guess my question is, would this affect property value as far as if it goes commercial? Is that gonna make our property value go up, go down? Because right now, we're at 205, and to be honest, we bought our house for 135 years ago, and we got ripped off. Like, it's a disaster. And that road, the traffic is a nightmare. So, I mean, we're having issues too. So if it's gonna make our property increase, obviously we need to sell. But as far as, him having a building, that wouldn't bother us at the least. I don't think my husband would say the same, would you? Sorry, he has cancer, so he's having a hard time.
Oh, sorry, guys, I got stage working, doing the best I can. I'm Randy Wurzelbacher, Allison's husband. Yeah, we want to be good neighbors, is what we want to be, and we don't really have an issue with anybody building a business, as long as, I don't have to listen to, dirt bikes at midnight and, things like, it's bad enough with Lawrenceburg Speedway on Friday nights that you hear it like they're in your backyard and it's, 2 miles away, but, we want to be good neighbors, and we want to, do that. And we're not opposed to anything. Our concerns are as property values and like I say, just noise in general. It sounds to me like there's not going to be a lot of noise. It would probably all be in the shop. Have no problem with that. Just want to make sure nobody's going to be on that 6 acres, running dirt bikes all over it at all hours of day and night, basically. Because I had heard that, they were the people, I'm sorry, I didn't catch his name, but I did hear that he was working on motorcycles and stuff, and that's our concern is noise, basically. But
And noise late, I mean.
and it's just
I
at
don't
what
care
time
anything,
does the noise
9,
cut
10
off?
after,
I mean, if it's noon and he's got a dirt bike out back,
Yeah.
he's doing whatever. I don't, that's his business. But, you start getting into late hours at night or early hours in the morning, that's our concern. But, more than anything, we just.
Property value is our biggest worry.
Yeah, the property values, I don't know if it's gonna make our value go up or down, but like my wife said, you guys, not you guys, but our taxes have already been, our property value's been raised over $70,000 in 5 years, which is
It's killing
absurd,
us.
which is absurd. So,
Not a bad thing, but it's a good thing, right?
well, it's
It
good,
is if we're selling.
but you gotta buy too, so, everybody who thinks it's great their values go up, by the same token, if you
Still gotta live
move,
somewhere.
you gotta buy something else and they're up everywhere else too, so, that's our concerns, is property values and, noise. And it sounds to me like he had addressed the noise issues, but, those are our concerns.
Travis, you wanna
Absolutely.
take care of the noise issue?
We wanna be good neighbors, brother.
I appreciate that, thank
We
you.
own the property.
Travis, by the way.
We own the property in front of you.
With a big gray house on
And
the
then
corner.
that
Okay,
Then we have a lot
little
next.
half-acre
Just
lot.
his property is going to change.
So if you're
Just his property.
standing at the driveway, you're to the
Just the
left?
use of this property for
To the
a
right.
2,500 square foot.
Okay, I know where you're at then. So you got the hill?
Yeah, the big gray house with the hill, right.
Gotcha.
All right, thank you.
So as far as the noise issue, no motorcycle or dirt bike that I work on is any louder than any of the semis coming up and down 48. As far as time goes, I'm not going to be wanting to work on motorcycles at 1 in the morning. There's times where I may be loading a trailer late at night because I'm wanting to leave at 6 in the morning or something to get to auction, but it's not going to be where I'm back there making a whole bunch of noise or any more decibel levels than the semi that's 10 feet off of the road.
What are your hours of operation?
11 to 6 are my normal hours. But that's not to say that I'm not there before or after hours sometimes. So I'm not going to sit here and say that it's absolute quiet at all hours of the night, but it's not going to be no dirt bikes out at night, no four-wheelers out at night, nothing like that.
Now, if we rezone this is just his property, it's not your property.
Right.
Correct, and
We
it's-
have a small piece of property that's, one of our properties runs parallel to his, kind of, and then the other property is a small chunk in the front. And we've already checked out, when we bought it, we checked out that it was zoned residential, because our son was talking about wanting to build a house there. So I just want to make sure that
That
nothing
doesn't
affects
change.
that property,
Yeah.
because the plan is for our son to eventually build a house
Right.
on that other property.
Right, no, yours would stay residential. The only property that would be changed would be his.
Yep, and it'd be a variance, so if I was to go and sell this property, the only way it would stay the same would be as somebody wanted to run the motorcycle shop. That's the only way that variance would go with it. They can't come in and put a Dairy Queen or a BP or a big industrial center or whatever. It would have to stay a motorcycle business. Am I right? Is that the understanding? Do I have that right? It would either have to be
Not
sold
really.
as residential.
Yeah,
To use-
you're changing a zone, so, a variance runs with the land.
Yeah,
And the variance, when you leave or transfer ownership, that variance remains with the property. So it would still remain a B1 or a B, after, or if you chose to sell it.
Okay, I was explaining that wrong then, so I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
the variance
Thank you
runs
for
with
correcting
the
me.
land. Yeah, the variance runs with the land.
Okay,
So does that mean it's just basic commercial, or could they build anything there?
It'll be whatever's in the
well, we can,
B1, or you can.
that variance can be whatever the board wants it to be.
Right, we can,
The
there's
purpose
several
is,
ways to address that. That request is, the board can place a condition onto the variance, and we do this all the time in Ohio County, where we put a condition on it that the variance does not run with the land, the variance runs with the owner,
okay,
property owner. So if and when the property owner, you sell the property or die, or it's transfers title, that B1 is exhausted and terminates. So we can do a couple things, the board can do a couple things. They can grant the variance, and if that's the case, the variance, it would be a B until someone came in and requested a change. Or they can grant the B with a condition, and that condition for the variance would be that it only runs with you as the individual property owner. If someone chose, let's say you passed or you were gonna transfer the title, if someone wanted to operate that property as B, they would have to come in and get their own individual variance.
okay.
So it's kind of like a nuance, but that's how that works.
And I'm open either way, so I'm not fighting for one or the other. Whatever's the easiest, I'm just trying to get my business there and get back to
I
work.
think that's the best way to do it to protect the neighbors.
Okay, and I'm totally fine with that to protect you guys.
We
so.
virtually do that. The variance with the condition is probably the most common way we do it, because it helps calm the neighbors for any future worry in the event they're not objecting to your change or your business. But they don't want, other
Right.
business.
I know Mr. Lang isn't here yet, but I don't want to step on your toes, but I did speak to him. Did you leave a suitable home building site just in front of the garage?
That's what I was gonna bring up next, yeah. I would like to leave just a suitable spot in the front of it, just in case my wife and I decide to move there someday and take our family there. That way, it would be set up for that.
It's adequate road frontage and.
But yeah, it's,
acreage.
there's,
Okay.
yeah, plenty. It's 6 acres there, and where the property sits, it's way off the property line where it would be.
So proper setbacks, proper sufficient acreage and sufficient road frontage. Is that what you're saying? Okay.
I had a question too about the driveway. I've had different answers on this. I've been told it needs to be paved all the way back, and I've been told that I could use a solid surface of gravel of some sort to get all the way back, with it being a
Our
variance.
code says hard surface, well, it'd be additional variance on that.
Correct.
But if, right as it sits, it's a hard surface, which would be asphalt or concrete.
Okay, okay. All right, so if I could apply for a variance
We
to,
can do this again, yes.
okay, all right.
All right, we still have some questions from the audience.
Does he have to have the acceleration lane?
You want to step up? Thank you.
State your name, please.
Stacy Robinson. I was just wanting to know if he would have to have a de-acceleration lane since it's a business or coming off of 48.
What do you think, John?
That's one I do not know.
I don't know that either. If that goes through IDOT or
I say
through
it's
us?
already an existing drive.
Yeah, but if you're going to change it to a business,
We can contact NDOT.
Yeah, that's what we'd have to do. Yeah, I can, again, I've been the Ohio County Planning and Zoning rep for 12 years. We've never required a residential, mostly it's ag to business. We've never required them to
Residential
have a
business.
deceleration. Not even if it's an extended ingress egress platform.
Right.
You know, road.
I know the larger development up the street Mr. Knoll owns, they require decel lane there because it's a big site. But that is one we can investigate.
okay. And again, I don't have a problem with Travis, is it? With his business. I would just like to be protected that if he sells it, forecloses, whatever, that the variance would go back residential. That's the only thing I'd be,
Conditional use?
That's a conditional, right, that's a condition on the variance. That and it's very specific too. The condition would be that it runs solely with Mr. Huber, and upon his death or transfer of the title of the property, it changes. Now, that can get tricky for a number of reasons in the event that Mr. Huber still lives on the property, but let's say if you have a family member that wants to continue the business, that
right,
as long as he's on the property, there's you know how it is, there's no specific case law
Right.
that says it, and it's kind of gone both ways. But, you know, we have the condition can be stated as transfer of title and/or transfer of business. So if he stops operating the business, he could not sell that business to a friend or family member to continue it while he owned the property. It's just he is the sole owner.
I see.
That variance stays with him as opposed to the land, and that would be the condition that we would put on it. I mean, I'm not speaking for the board. I'm
Right.
just saying how that would, if Mr. Huber was agreeable and the neighbors were asking for that, then the board could include that into their motion.
And where are you working at now? That, I'm sure you was in one of the buildings that burnt.
I was, yes.
Okay.
It burned completely to the ground. I
Right.
lost 29 units plus all my parts, tools.
Right.
It happened February 24th, the morning of February 25th. And I was operating out of where Airwolf Trucking was.
Yeah.
But the gentleman just sold that building, so I had to move out, and now I don't have anywhere.
Okay. That's all I have.
Okay, we had another hand up there.
Yeah, I just wondered, do you plan on eventually living there?
I have no intentions on living there as of right now, but I definitely want to keep that as an option because it's a beautiful piece of property. And I just figured if I ever sold it, then it'd be sold with a really nice garage that somebody could put their house in front of. That was kind of my thought to it.
Any other questions from board or audience? Let's take care of the site plan review first, and then we'll do the variance.
We'll have to do that site plan review approval pending variance approval.
So do we have a motion to approve or deny the site plan review? And/or a
I really
second?
don't know what to say here myself.
Well, we're gonna approve the site plan first.
Yeah.
So I'll make a motion to approve the site plan.
Do we have a second?
I was second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion approved. Okay, so do we have a motion to forward the variance request to the BZA with no recommendation, favorable recommendation, or recommendation to deny?
I'd like to make a recommendation, a favorable recommendation for the variance for the property, but it would stay with the owner.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion accepted. Do we have any old business?
I have none.
We have a motion for adjournment and/or a second.
I second.
All in favor? Opposed?
Aye.
Or adjourned?
Always like that part.
All neighbors happy?
Yeah, I have that.
All right.
Appreciate it. Be one more chance on the fourth Wednesday of the month.
That's the way we almost always do it. You know, you don't want to have a continuous business in a residential area.
Yeah. Next thing you know, AT&T would buy it and put an antenna up in the middle of it.
They need an antenna up there. Highest part of the hill, the service is horrible.
They're actually putting a new one up.
Are they?
Yeah. On that big.
All around the hospital, like Verizon's horrible. Yeah. Don't get it.
Yeah.
Well, we're done, Jerry?
Yep.
That went fast.
Yeah. Hey, Jen, can we get your water there?
Not loud and crooked anymore. Mr. blowing different times.
So if we're gonna eat,
Take care.
Appreciate it, guys. Travis.
Oh, you and your brother.
So the creek was up there, right? We're split up.
All day, every year, so.
Yeah, you could only.
The way I see it, from the way he marked it, the creek is not, I'm all the way up to the creek. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you know, the thing is. We surveyors in general are incredibly busy. Not that that's an
We've
excuse,
been trying for 5 years.
but literally, I mean, there's a handful of us in the county
And now.
and lie on him. He knows. I let him go. Hey, take care. So we found some things and then we set some things. I'd have to have the thing in front of me to remember. I got too many jobs floating in my head.
Because obviously that's the edge.
Yeah.
Correct. I'm gonna have them mark the edges if they're not marked.
If we
So
get to
what
get
we
even,
want to do
yeah.
is be able to use, I'm sorry to say, but you've already had it surveyed, so I want to be able to use your markings, just so I stay off your property. Not so, you know, like you said, we want.
So you guys happy? I'm ready, front.
You got a cell phone number? I can.
Because we still need to get the back and the ones that's legendary.
I'm not happy.
We're happier than we thought.
I was afraid it was so far.
You guys are, right? Yep. This is your lot.
Probably, yeah. This one is-
Because I know